So Donald Trump is leading Joe Biden in 5 swing states. Here's the question. Are all the Donald Trump lawsuits hurting Donald Trump with voters, particularly black voters? And if it's not, why is that?
Is one of the most closely watched counties here in the key battleground state of Georgia. So it seemed like the perfect place to come out and talk to Republican voters and see all of the coverage, all of the things that we're talking about with this New York hush money trial. How is it impacting them down here? So I spoke with about 5 different Republicans, and they represent a very wide cross section, a very diverse group of Republican voters here in this county. And I asked them, how are they being impacted by this trial? Are they paying close attention? And what impact might a guilty verdict have on their decision to support the former president? Here's what they told me. Take a look. Do each of you support Donald Trump?
I do.
Yes. Yes for all 3 of you? Yes. Has this trial changed your opinion, even caused you to waver or question that at all?
No, it's actually caused me to support him more. I just don't believe there's a coincidence that we have a trial happening in Atlanta. We have one happening in New York. So the question people are beginning to ask themselves, like I did, is like, why now?
It's pretty much everybody says they're picking on him. You know, people are tired of going after him, and you see it in so many areas. It's really not a big issue in the party. Actually, they're really making everybody mad, and they look at a big bully, and the government is the bully.
This is going to be your first time casting a ballot. What is it for you that drives your support of the former president?
I think always fighting. I mean, he's taken so much just defense from news and everything, but he still hasn't given up. He keeps fighting to do what's right.
I've talked to many people who formerly identified as a Democrat. They have changed their political persuasion to independent, and they are looking forward to voting for Trump. Wow. Because now they find something in common with a political candidate at that level.
When you say they find commonality, what is that commonality?
They have felt persecuted by the system of American injustice. And it's not a stretch for them to think that Trump may be a victim as well. People see that there's some kind of commonality between himself and maybe all the black men that have been incarcerated and the families that have been impacted by black male incarceration.
Wow. You know, that hit a little different, didn't it? We good? That hit a little bit different, didn't it? Yeah, they hit a little bit different because there was an articulate sister. And I know I can say that because I'm a black man. I can say she's an articulate sister who expressed herself very clearly in what she's saying here. Not like the way that they try to badger this. Because you've heard the talking heads that support the Democratic Party. Look, man, if you're one of these people that work for the Democrats who actually get your bread and butter, you actually pay your bills from working on Democratic campaigns, going on Democratic-leaning, left-leaning cable networks, then your opinion about this is void. What I'm saying is there are a number of political operatives that work for the DNC, who campaign with the DNC, who are affiliated with the DNC, who have created a narrative that black people who feel like this sister says she and others feel it's all made up bullshit, and it's a lie, and it's racist to say that. What they're doing is a complete mind screw to black Americans, trying to stop the hemorrhaging of voters who are tired of the Democratic Party. See, what they do is they tell you that to make that suggestion is racist, that there are black people that feel that the system has harassed them. I remember covering Ferguson. Oh, here goes the good one. Everyone will know this. Philando Castile. Philando Castile was pulled over 100 times. He was constantly harassed by police, and then he was killed by one. That's a real thing. In fact, when they did the investigation, the FBI investigation, the Department of Justice-led FBI investigation of Ferguson, that's what point I was going to make earlier, they determined during their analysis that there was an over-policing of Ferguson to the point where they were overly total harassment of black Americans. because these jurisdictions were all preying on using black money, black pain in the form of citations, ticketing and pulling them over, trying to get them for every infraction in order to fund their police budgets. That's what they did. They targeted black Americans. They could see white people drive by, but they wouldn't pull over the white people. They only pulled over the black people, predominantly black males. So it is not sellout. It's not Tim Scott. Tim Scott is horrible. He is. I see no difference between Tim Scott and Jim Clyburn, though. Unlike you, I see Joe Biden as a white man, too. I don't see Joe Biden as a black guy. But we have a number of Democrats, man. We have black Democrats who have lost their damn minds. And a lot of black commentators, they haven't lost their minds. They know exactly what their money is. They know exactly how their bread is buttered. And that's what time it is with them. And that's why they do what they do. But it's the black voters who have me upset, because why are you falling for the dumbest shit in the world? I mean, Biden is as white as Trump. Probably whiter than Trump, if you consider that. Trump has a lot of black friends. At least he did until he started running for office. He had a lot of black friends publicly. But back to this clip, man, what I'm trying to say is, with this woman, what she says here makes so much sense. It's overkill. It's gone too far. So we got a black woman, a black man, and a white man all saying the same thing. It's gone too far. The Democratic Party and the DNC and the corporate media, that, make no mistake about it, you know by their coverage, they're very leaning towards the Biden and the DNC and the Democratic Party. We all know that. That's why they never cover Trump unless it's negative. The only networks that cover Trump that aren't when it's not negative are Newsmax, Fox News, News Nation, or something like that. It's very few. All the rest, their bread and butter comes from MSNBC, or comes from the Democratic Party. So it's what I'm telling you is, you can go too far. At some point, I think what happened was America started saying, hey, why do they keep going after this guy? It becomes almost like you create a Rocky. The Democratic Party has created a Rocky effect. The Rocky effect. I mean, I like Carl Weathers, man. Rest in peace, Carl Weathers. But at that point, when you beat the guy up so badly, it's like you started rooting for the guy who's taking it on the chin so much. And I'm not saying Trump deserves that. Like, I don't agree with these people I don't agree with that white guy, I think it was, who said it. Could have been the black guy, I don't know. One of them was like, and Trump's still trying to stand up, and he's trying to take the slings and arrows, he's doing it for us. I don't believe that shit at all. I don't. Okay? I don't believe Trump is taking slings and arrows for us. I believe he's taking slings and arrows because he's threatening the power structure. And I believe that Trump is very stubborn and he won't back down. And he doesn't want to lose. He don't like losing. So I believe that's part of it. Okay? It's pride. Okay? That's what I believe it is. I don't think he is a saint. But there are people that are Trump supporters, MAGA supporters, who do believe that. They do believe that. And this is something else I pointed out. I want to make it clear to you if you've never watched this. What the Democratic Party won't tell you, or what the mainstream media won't tell you, is Democrats, they ride for a party. But Trump voters, the core base of the Trump voters, they're not Republicans, they are MAGA. They are Trump supporters. That's a different thing. Biden doesn't have a lot of Biden supporters. He has people that support the Democratic Party. All these people I have a problem with, they would be doing the same thing no matter who's running for the Democratic election. It could be Hillary Clinton. It could be Barack Obama. It could be Joe Biden. It could be John Kerry. It could be Andrew Yang. It could be Elizabeth Warren. It could be Hillary Clinton. Who was ever in the blue tie, they're going to do the same thing they've been doing. It doesn't matter what their record is. It doesn't matter if they're competent. It doesn't matter if their policies are worth a shit. It don't matter because they're all about the party. The phenomena and what makes Trump dangerous, and these people don't want to tell you this, is that he ain't about the Republican Party. He's about himself. And he's built something that's around him as an individual. I played a clip last week of a young woman who said it very plainly. She said, I always look at the person, not the party. I never hear Democratic voters say that. They don't say that. They say, vote blue anywho. Vote blue anywho is their mantra. Trump supporters are different. They're voting for Trump. They're not voting for Mitch McConnell. They're not voting for the Republican Party. Some of them can't stand the Republican Party. They're holding their nose to vote for Trump as a Republican. They would vote for Trump whether he was a Republican or an independent. Does that make sense? I know you don't get this type of analysis if you watch MSNBC or CNN. I hope you don't, but if you do, I know that you're getting a stark contrast to what you're usually being told. What I'm telling you is, my coverage of this over the last 5 years, I can say this emphatically with no hesitation, real to you, straight up, honestly, and true to you. There's a big difference between a Trump supporter and a Republican supporter. They ain't the same thing. They want you to believe that Trump supporters are delusional, that they are zombies, when it is Democrats who are zombies to a party. There are some Trump supporters who have given Trump a messianic type of, or that's true. But that's not the majority of his voters. In fact, even some of his voters are very, very scrutinizing of him, or very critical of him. But they support him over Biden. So there are different levels to this. Different levels to this. The sister in the video said it very clearly. She knows a lot of Democrats who got so turned off by what Joe Biden, the DNC, the Democratic Party, what they're doing, that they went independent. We have independent candidates running, which is part of my frustration because we have independent candidates running. We covered that last segment, but it would be great if we got behind an independent candidate. You don't have to get behind Trump. You can get behind an independent candidate, independent voter. But you would have to know about them. And that's when I feel bad, because I feel guilt because I'm unable to reach enough people to make the type of impact I would like to make on this election. Not for money, but for my kids, for your kids.